Are the Panthers for real? Dennis, what's your phrase about like moments versus longevity? I forget what the...
Everyone is capable of having a great moment, but is that who you consistently are?
Everybody's capable of having a great moment. So even teams like, the worst version of the Panthers last 4 or 5 years, they have a good game, right? They can have a good run. They can have a good quarterback play for a period, a stretch. Consistency is what we judge teams by. Panthers won 3 of their last 4. Is that consistent enough? Is that enough? Is that making it happen? Is that making it for real? Dave Canales earlier today was asked if the Panthers have learned who they are through 6 weeks.
Yeah, and that picture kind of keeps changing. We've been affected by injuries with different people, coming to us, and of course this week we're going to have a few more guys that are going to have an opportunity to come help us, and trying to find that chemistry. But it's finding the styles of runs. It's finding the style of pass game that's going to work for us. And as far as the defense goes, same thing. It's finding the coverages and pressures that work for us, scheme-wise, to play off of each other and swarm the football like we expect, And I'm seeing that, I'm seeing that part come together, but I think the picture still isn't crystal clear. We're still waiting for some guys to continue to make bigger impacts, things that we expect them, to grow in and to help us with.
Their identity. Do they know who they are? I know who they want to be. And the last 2 weeks, they've been able to be that. And that is the best part about the last 2 weeks. And for like old school Panther fans, it's who you want them to be too. Defense and running the football. Defense and running the football. Stopping the run and pounding the rock. That's what they've been the last 2 weeks. Shout out Rico Dowdle. Shout out Derrick Brown. Shout out stopping the run and running the football. Most important part of yesterday's game, like they would be playing on a night game. Although maybe now they won't get flexed out of Monday Night Football Week 12. They might be good enough. Most important part of the Panthers' win yesterday is they never got behind 2 scores. You go back and listen to our show on Friday. I'll put my hand up. We spent too much time on it. I spent a ton of time on what they would have to do when they fell behind 2 scores. How would they get back? Could they lean on Bryce once they got behind 2 scores? Once they're behind 14? Once they're behind 10? Because Dallas's offense can score and you need to be able to keep up and it's going to be push and pull. They never got behind more than 7. Early bad turnover, Tepper McMillan. George Pickens going bananas pretty much consistently. Right? All of the adversity they faced, they were never behind more than 7 points, which allowed them to stay who they wanted to be. Canales was able to stay committed to the running game. They were able to continue feeding Rico Dowdle, who, by the way, over the last 2 games, it's like it's 93 Emmitt Smith out there. He's getting old school running back usage.
30 carries yesterday.
30 carries. It was like 63 touches over the last 2 weeks. That's 1994 if I've ever heard it. But you can stay that committed when you're staying in the game, when you're picking up chunk yardage, when you don't trust, or don't believe, I should say, that the opposing team offense is going to run up the score on your defense. Rico Dowdle had, 34 touches? 34 touches. None of them negative yardage. None of them stuffed at the line for a loss of half a yard. No, every single one positive yardage. 34 touches. That allows you to be what I believe the Panthers want to be, which is a team that can ask Bryce Young to make plays when convenient, rather than asking Bryce Young to make plays when everyone in the building knows he has to. They can set up defenses to be surprised by the passing game. They can be creative. They can use all of their weapons. But to do that, two things have to be true. You have to be able to consistently run the ball, and you have to be able to play great defense. And the Panthers did both of those the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, the defense against the opposing team's run game has been, I don't even want to say varsity against JV. It's been varsity against freshman squad. It's been varsity against middle school. Opposing teams have not been able to run against the Carolina Panthers. And maybe it just took a month for Derrick Brown to settle in and make his influence felt, but it has been dramatic these last two games. They have played great against the run. So ironically, all those questions that I had about the team on Friday probably are still true. There's still questions that haven't been answered, which is what do you do when you have a better opposing offense than the Dolphins and you get yourself in a hole? But best case scenario, you never have to answer those questions, right? Best case scenario, your plan A is so good that you never get to plan B or plan C. That's what they've done the last 2 weeks. And if that's what they're able to do, keep it rolling. There's nothing that says you can't do it against the Jets this week. And then the Bills come in and you got to deal with the Bills. That's a different beast. But take it one game at a time. Take it one game at a time. The optimism of it all is, quite frankly, you've been dealing with some injuries up front. You're still able to run the ball, which bodes well for the scheme, bodes well for the depth you have up front. And we do have to talk about Rico Dowdle outside of the scheme, outside of everything else. Because I will put the context on there that all the haters want to put out there, which is this. The Miami Dolphins pass game is not great. Or sorry, I don't know why I said pass game. Well, that's true too, but that's not what I was talking about. Their run defense, not great.
No, not good at all.
Dallas's run defense, Dallas's defense as a whole, not very good.
Pretty bad.
But it's not like Rico Dowdle had good games. He had the best 2-week stretch a running back has had for the Carolina Panthers pretty much in history.
Ever. Yeah. He set a franchise record for yards from scrimmage just yesterday, 239. 206 yards rushing against the Dolphins was the second highest in franchise history. Tied with Jonathan Stewart, only 4 behind D'Angelo Williams.
So
no one's done this in a Panther uniform.
And they've played bad run defenses.
Very bad.
And they've been more committed to the run, and they've had better passing threats, and they've had those matchups come later in the season when other teams more banged up. There have been plenty in the Panthers' history, plenty of matchups that would indicate that the running back should have a good day. None of them put together a 2-week stretch like Rico Dowdle did. And that includes all your favorite running backs. That includes 2019 Christian McCaffrey. That includes Stephen Davis, Deshaun Foster, D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, on and on and on and on. Chuba Hubbard. Cam Newton? Never mind. Well, he never did it either, but he was also trying to throw, so he had other things on his plate. Rico Dowdle gives this offense something that they were missing. Now, that's not to say there's not a role for Chuba Hubbard if and when he gets healthy and comes back, but there is no doubt in my mind that Rico Dowdle is the main character in that running game moving forward, or at least he should be. You put up back-to-back 2 hundos on the ground? You put back-to-back games up like that? Nearly 2 hundo on the ground in both. You put back-to-back games like that up, you get to ride the hot hand. It's your job till someone knocks you off that throne. The Carolina Panthers have not been good enough to look at a player on that kind of hot streak and go, thanks, but we're going to go back to this other thing. If they were winning and, there's no doubt in my mind that there are teams out there that could have a backup running back play very, very, very well, and then when the starter came back, they would regulate them or relegate them, I should say, back to their original role. But they would have had some base level of success prior to the backup stepping in that they're comfortable with. Panthers have not had that base level of success. There's a lot to like about the way they played. And a lot of ways they can improve, which, if you trust the coaching staff is actually optimistic, right? If you're winning games and there's obvious ways to get better, that's actually better than winning games and maxing out all of your ability. Isn't it fun? Isn't it fun, Panther fans out there? Talk some trash. Go for it.